Onegaishimasu. Thank you. Okay, connecting to the ground. Awareness of center. So aware of your alignment, aware of your length of the body, aware of the ground, and aware of the center. So aware of length and center point. Each out breath is a releasing breath. As you release the tensions and the weight on the out breath, standing with more and more clarity, cleanness, emptiness, openness. Again, what's helpful is the chin is in a little bit, opening the back of the neck. Tailbone is hanging or pointing towards the ground to lengthen the lower back. Shoulders sit straight down, knees open and released, allowing the weight to fall freely through your structure into the ground. And so with each out breath, you're releasing more tensions, more weight, and therefore clarifying and emptying the structure. You can imagine the legs growing into the ground like roots, deep into the ground. Even as the crown of the head floats directly up. And noticing the lengthening of the spine. Release the abdomen. Actively releasing tensions on the out breath. Resting here at center. So the tendon or the one point is about 2 or 3 inches below the navel, just inside the body. Or you can imagine the bowl of the hips, a more generalized area. But it's below the navel in the lower abdomen. So resting the mind and breath there. And having a sense that as you breathe in, your energy expands, maybe just a little bit, but expands. There's an outward expansion direction as you breathe in. As you breathe out, there's a settling or consolidating back into the core. So like a pulsating star. Breathing in is expanding out from the core. Breathing out, settling back, concentrating, consolidating back to the core. And we'll bring the body movement into this action. So it's mainly an intentional movement, an energetic movement, and the body simply follows. So breathing in, arms expand away from the body, and that's a result of the breath and the mental direction. Breathing out, hands come back towards the body, retracing energy back to home base, to the core. Breathing in is expanding, the belly physically gets bigger, the energy expands, pushing the arms out. Breathing out, coming back, returning to home base, and the arms simply follow what the breath and the mental direction is doing. And eventually the breath and mind actually move the arms completely. So the arms are simply drifting with the direction of the energy. The expanding energy buoys the arms outward away from the body. Retracing energy draws the arms and hands back. So it's not in the arms at all. It's a movement of energy, a movement of intention. And then slightly different motion with the arms, breathing in, coming up center line, breathing out, pressing down center line. So this changing the action of the breath energy. Breathing in as a rising energy, breathing out as a sinking down energy. Again, very little action in the shoulders. It's almost like breathing in pulls the plunger up, breathing out pushes the plunger down. Drawing energy, drawing ki from the ground up through the body, directing the ki back down through the legs and feet into the ground. So again, the arms are following the movement of the intentional direction and the movement of the ki flow. Drawing up, almost like the in-breath is a suction, pulling energy up, out-breath is plunging it back down, directing it, plunging it back down. So a vacuum, a suction here, and a pressing, directing action here. But you're doing that with your breath, your feeling, your energy. And then laterally breathing in, expanding laterally, breathing out, coming back to the center point. Again, arms are moving because of the intention and energetic direction. Breathing in, opens, breathing out, consolidating. Check the alignment of your spine, the back of the neck, lower back. Opening and elongate the spine. And then coming back to in front here, holding this position as you breathe into the belly, breathe into the center. Let the arms and hands rest on a sphere of energy. And then a slightly wider stance, knees out very slightly, toes out very slightly, just a very light horse stance. Rolling the elbows forward, another standing posture. So again, pushing the chin back slightly, opening and elongating the lower back, pressing lower back backwards. Shoulders are pulled down by the elbows rolling forward. Energy flowing out through the center of the palms. It's like Iron Man. Have you seen Iron Man? So turn those jets on. So you've got jets going through the feet, into the ground, and out through the palms. Lengthen the spine. Release and open the shoulder joints. Eventually you can get the elbow joints to do the same. Wrist joints, release and open. Everything opens and lengthens. And then do that with your spine. The hip cage hangs, stretching and opening up the spine. Crown of the head is light, goes up towards the sky. That also stretches and opens the spine. And if you can get a sense of the spine opening or stretching, connect that to your arms. As the spine releases and opens, it elongates the arms. It opens the shoulder joints. And this is, once you start to tap into this, it's quite intensive work, physically and mentally. So it's good to take little breaks so you can jump back into it afresh. So let the arms swing, breathe, hang out and breathe. Bring your feet to closer together. Let the arms swing in front. You're just releasing the shoulder joints and the arms and taking a mental and physical break. And when we are opening up the body like that, there can be some, of course, very normally so, there can be some resistance. Resistance to the body to opening up. The body only knows tension for most people. The body only knows tension or deadness. So opening up the body in a very alive way, the body's going to resist that, both structurally because it's not open and released yet, and energetically it's going to release that and wants to hold in. So let's gently go back into it, feet slightly wider, toes out, knees out. Don't lift the arms, roll the elbows forward. That will suck the shoulders straight down. If you hang out, lengthen the spine, that allow the weight to fall through the feet even more. Then you can connect the opening, stretching of the spine to the arms and elbows as well. Release the abdomen. Now, hands come in front and continually come back to different parts. For example, just doing this action from here to here, I may have tightened my lower back or mid back. So moment to moment, especially when we do a movement, go back and checklist. So I can release the hips a bit more. I can hang the hips, can release the lower back. The neck has collapsed again. I can stretch, push back, stretch back. And again, as soon as we do an action, we'll tend to lose several of those aspects. Shoulders down, flowing out through your fingertips. Out through your fingertips, your arms get longer and longer, almost like someone is pulling your hands from the fingertips, keeping the shoulders down, and feel an opening across your back. And then keeping the reach out there, not coming back in. Your arms only get longer and longer. Rotating, but your arms do not come back in. Hang out here, have a sense that the shoulders are being released and opened. The elbows are still streaming out. And then back here where we started. Hang out and breathe. As your fingertips come together, have a sense that your arms and fingers are lengthening. They're not coming together in the same spot. They're only lengthening as they come closer and closer together. And then rotating is only lengthening your arms or opening up your shoulder joints. That happens, that arm movement happens because you're opening up the shoulder joints. And then extend the elbows forward. Lengthening brings them together. Hang out, breathe. Lengthening, causing a rotation in the shoulder joints. Release the belly, breathe. Lengthening through the elbows. Breathe. Lengthening to bring the fingertips together. Lengthening to rotate the shoulders. Lengthening through the elbows. Now coming together, but this time crossing, you get even more of a stretch through the back. Rotating. Lengthening through the elbows. Now here in this position here, this is a yoke. Gleason Sensei talks about this being a yoke, stretching through the chest, through the sternum rather, through the sternum, out through the elbows. Here, opening, stretching the back. Opening, releasing the shoulder joints. Extending out through the elbows. Keep the shoulders open, the back open, and also now opening through the sternum. Check your breathing. Release on the out breath. It's good to alternate this crossing. Release the arms. Inch your feet in. Breathe. Hang out. Front. Check your alignment. A little bit of a turn. Make sure your knees are bent and your lower back is flat. This is just a releasing action. A little wider, hang and sink, flow out. You only get longer as you cross. Shoulder joints open, 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 open for the rotation. Stream out through the elbow points. Alternating this cross. Open, stream out. Hang the hips, lengthen the spine. Okay, now out directly to the lateral direction. Flow out through the arms. Have a sense that your arms get longer. You're flowing up through the arms, and you're attempting to pull the elbows in towards your sides, but physically you can't do it. Arms get longer and longer and longer. You're attempting to pull the elbows in towards your ribs, but you can't quite make that physical action. Arms extending out as you're pulling in towards the ribs. Breathe. Expanding out as best you can. Use very little muscle, just the action of your intention. You're flowing out through both arms and hands, and you're pulling in with the elbows, and they kind of counter each other. In fact, the more you pull in with your elbows, the more the arms and hands extend out. Back here in front. Cross. Fingers growing longer. Rotate out to the sides. Getting longer with the arms, reaching out, extending out, pulling in with the elbows. But for equal forces, the more you pull in with the elbows, the more the arms stretch out and get long. Breathe. Back to the front, crossing. Rotating out. Imagine the fingertip of your middle finger touches the wall. So your two middle fingers touching the wall to the sides, and they're glued to the wall. So you physically try to pull your elbows in towards your ribs, but your fingertips are stuck to the wall. Breathe. Rotate in front. Cross. Rotate to open the shoulders. Your fingertips are sliding along the ceiling, sliding, scraping against the walls on the side. They anchor into the walls or get stuck on the walls, and you attempt to physically pull the elbows in. At the same time, keeping the fingertips touching the wall. Fingertips pushing through the walls while you attempt to pull the elbows in. Elbows slide in front, cross, rotate, out. Now, extending out both directions, again through the arms. This time, you're going to be successful in pulling the elbows in. You bring the elbows in, have a sense that you're not using your arms or your shoulders. You're pulling your elbows in using your back, using your back, using your back. Your chest stays open, pulling and using your back, not your arms. And then out in front. Crossing, extending, rotating, opening, flowing out through the arms and hands to touching the walls. Pull the arms in from the elbows using your lats and between your shoulder blades. Pulling in between the shoulder blades, extending the elbows forward, crossing, extending, rotating, just an expanding rotation. Arms get longer and longer and longer. They continue to get longer as you physically pull the elbows in with your back. Breathe. Elbows roll forward, extend and cross, rotate and open the shoulder joints. Fingertips go through the ceiling, go through the side walls, continue going through the walls as you pull the elbows in with your back. Breathe, release the abdomen. And back here, spine is long, drop and hang the hip cage. Push the chin in a little bit. Push the lower back flat. Let the weight exit through your legs and feet. Take a Hanmi. Same feeling here. The hip cage hangs, expanding and lengthening the spine, chin in, crown floating directly up. That hanging, opening spine translates to opening shoulder joints, rolling elbows forward. Breathing in, you switch Hanmi. Breathing out, you sink, lengthen the spine, extend out through your shoulders and elbows. Go at your own time. Breathing in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. Breathing in is switching Hanmi. Breathing out is sinking, hanging the hips, lengthening the spine, rolling the elbows forward. So at your own pace, be very mindful and intentful. See what you can correct. Maybe the neck has collapsed. Maybe the lower back has shortened and tightened. Maybe the shoulders have come up. It's okay, especially if this is new for you, it's okay that your in-breath is a resting period. So you can approach it that way at first, for sure. Breathing in is a little bit of a mental rest. Then sink, breathe out, open and extend. Breathing in is releasing, breathing out is sinking and extending. Have a sense the more you sink down, release down, the more the spine lengthens and the more you extend out through the shoulders, elbows, and hand blades. So it's good to have a long out breath. Long out breath. Stretch the spine, extend out through the shoulders and elbows. Long out breath, sink through the floor, extend the spine, roll the elbows forward. Breathe in, release, and relax. Okay, we're going to take this into Manucci. Just basically bringing in as many of those feelings as you can into basic Manucci. If you bring a lot of these elements into Manucci, you'll find that naturally, quite naturally, your arc is very generous. Your arc is very expansive, not coming up and in. It'll be very, very large and expansive. That will happen naturally with these same feelings. Rolling the elbows forward will pull the shoulders down. Release the abdomen and breathe. Chin is back a little bit. You should feel the back of the neck open and lengthen when you do that. Other side. Hang, sink. Now energize the hand blades, the line along the forearm from the elbow, edge of the hand, right to through the edge of the little finger. Energize that line. And with the tenkai or the turn, now as you do the tenkai, as you do the turn, notice what you lose. You'll probably lose a detail or two. And just be mindful of what you lose. It might be the back of the neck, or it might be the spine. Just notice what you lose, maybe the breathing. and bring that back into the movement as best you can. So your arc will be really big and long. Okay, good. We'll take this into some footwork, some movement. And again, the idea is noticing what we lose. When we go into more movement, we'll tend to lose some of those things. So feel totally free to slow down. Maybe you can stop and start again. Try to bring the element in that you lost. Okay, so we'll do a 90-degree tenkan. So as we advance with that back leg, that's the uprising arc. As the right leg slides back, that's the large draw down and back. So again, the back of the neck is long and open. Tailbone is pointed towards the ground. Shoulder joints open more and more. Elbows roll forward. Breathe. So that dancing leg is a rising arc. As that leg slides back into the back position, draws the arms down. Good. Okay, now Hidari Hanmi, left leg forward, we'll do a 90-degree tenkan. Same action, advancing forward, the rising arc. As that leg slides into the back position, draws the arms down. So you hang out to lengthen the spine, expand out or extend out through the shoulders and elbows. How much space can you take up with that arm movement? Okay, good. Now we'll do Shiho Undo, Shiho Giri, forward direction cut. So, Manuchi, Tenkai, return 180 degrees, Manuchi. Then we step with the right leg 90 degrees. Then we do Tenkai 180 degrees. And then we switch the feet. Hear me, Tenkan, to start again. So Manuchi, Tenkai 180, Manuchi, step to the right 90 degrees, Manuchi, turn to the left 180, Manuchi, Irimi Tenkan. So that's each, ni, san, shi, Irimi Tenkan. Each time, see if you can let those arms get longer and longer. Hang and release the spine. Release the abdomen. Release the abdomen, breathe. Roll the elbows forward. Okay. Let's take a little mini break. Knees are approximately, feet are approximately shoulder width apart. Make sure those knees are bent. Nothing in the shoulders, nothing in the arms. A good bend in the knees so you can just turn those hips. Hang out and breathe into the abdomen. Remember, this is where you store the mind and breath. So let that belly expand as you breathe in. Let it retrace back as you breathe out. And a little smaller, gradually winding down. Okay, so Hapo Giri or Hapo Undo, so 8 directions. Nice big arc. Hanging out, expanding out. So the first 4, just as before. Once we get to that 4th direction, we step with the right foot into the right corner, turn to the left, so Tenkai to the left, 180.
Oh,
Step with the right foot to the right corner, turn to the left, 180. And we're ready to start again by turning to the right, facing the front. So first 4 as before. When we're at number 4, we step into the right corner, turn to the left, 180, step into the right corner, turn to the left, 180, and we're back. We step back where we started.
never that.
It always makes everybody laugh. I don't know why. Everybody finds this funny. Yeah, it's okay. Just takes a little while to get the sense of that. So we start again, perhaps. So first 4, turn to the left, 180. We step to the right, turn to the left, 180. Now that's the end of the 4. We step with the right foot into the right corner. We turn to the left, 180. We step to the right corner with the right foot, turn to the left, 180. And then we step back to the front wall where we started. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, let's go over this footwork first. So we're in a Migi Hanmi, right Hanmi. We're going to do a Tenkan 180, sorry, Tenkan 90 degrees when we step with the left leg. So we're just doing the footwork. And then whenever we step with the right leg, it's 180 degrees. So the right leg enters, left leg behind, 180 degrees. Whenever we step with the left foot, it's 90-degree Tenkan. So left foot comes up, right foot comes back. Okay. Whenever we step with the right foot, advancing with the right foot, it's a 180-degree turn. And when we step with the left foot, it's just a 90-degree. So now the right foot's going to be stepping forward, so that's a full turn or 180-degree. Left leg now is going to be stepping, so that's just a 90-degree. And then we finish here by ending up where we started, 180-degree Tenkan. So perhaps let's do that one more time, just the footwork. So for this one, right leg is forward, left foot advances. Left foot is 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. And actually, let's do that one more time, just the footwork, and focus on hanging from the string, hanging that spine, and breathing into the abdomen. Abdomen breathing in, expanding as you breathe in, abdomen sinking back as you breathe out. So abdomen is pulsating with the breath as you just hang out. Okay, so left foot steps, it's 90 degrees. Right foot, 180. Just hanging out, 90 degrees, 180. 90 degrees, just hanging out and breathing, 180 degrees, 90, 180. Good. So now we're going to bring Manucci into that. Nice, long, big arc, because our body is open and expansive, and only opening more so. Lengthening, opening, expanding. So advancing step is the rising of Manucci. As that foot slides back in position, it draws the arms back down in front of the hips. Really big arc, okay? So 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, breathe at the abdomen, 90, 180, 90, hang from the string, 180. Okay, one more time. 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, big arc, 180, check the back of the neck, 90, 180, and keep the in position. Pausing for a moment at the beginning, pausing for a moment at the end is very helpful in correcting structure and posture, very helpful in being aware of what we're doing with our body. So it's always good to stop and just feel what you need to correct there. So let's do with the left leg forward, the Dari Hanmi, and we'll just do the footwork again. So now, because it's changed now, it's now the other way. When we step with the right leg, that's going to be a 90-degree turn. And whenever we step with the left leg, it's going to be a 180-degree turn. So stepping with the right foot, so that's 90 degrees. Stepping with the left foot, that's 180. Right foot, 90. Left foot, 180. Right foot, 90. Left foot, 180. Right foot, 90. Left foot, 180. Let's do that one more time just with footwork so that we can focus on hanging, lengthening that spine, and just breathing in the center here. Okay? So left leg forward, step with the right foot. Stepping is 90, 180, just hang out, 90, 180, 90, 180, hang nice and vertical, 90, 180. Now putting that Manucci action into it, again, longest, biggest possible arc. Joints are opening, elbows are rolling forward. As you advance, that's the rising arc. As the foot comes back and slides into the end position, that draws the arms out and down. So stepping with the right foot, 90 degrees. 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay, again, so each, ni, san, shi, ro, rok, sich, hach. Okay. Hami no Kamai, ready stance. Tai no Henko. So you can imagine that someone's grabbing the outside of your wrist. So I happen to be able to see, so Bonnie, if you'll do that, good. I'm coming in to grab, you happen to be the big picture on the screen for me. So I'm coming in to grab like that. Okay, so I'll take the same angle. So let's have left side forward. Partner's grabbing. Yeah, if everybody has left side forward, then I'm your uke. Right here. Okay, so step off line. And I want you to see this shape here. I haven't collapsed. Same openness, right? Same shoulder joints are open. Elbows are well in front of the body. Let's just do that first step a couple more times. So I simply release that front foot in and over towards my partner and to the outside. So let that foot release. You sink into the left hip. Release and sink. As you do that, that arm rolls in front. Yes, that's right. Step off line, sink. Your center turns, this stays in front of your center. Yes, that's it. So offline, sink. Okay, now a full Tenkan, 180 degrees. Now, I guess we'll be facing away from each other, but feel free to sneak a peek. So again, you see that openness? Don't want to have too much leaning. I'm hanging, sinking, rolling the elbows forward. Okay, so Offline turn, full turn, elbows in front. Hang out and breathe. Okay. Offline. I'm still hanging from the string. Weight still dropping. It's dropping through the left leg. Turn. You stay in your forward stance, so the weight is still in that left leg. Okay. Offline, sink, full turn, elbows rolling forward. Try a couple more on your own. Okay, now let's do the other side. So now we're in Migi Hanmi, right side forward. The generic uke is coming in here. Is that realistic? I think it kind of is. Yeah. Okay. So what's interesting is when we slide that foot off, we're not coming up the step to step down. A normal action, tightening in, tightening up the step. We simply release as if we're still hanging out. Simply release the step. And as you release that step, the shoulder joint's only open. Yes, very, very good. Because what's the normal thing, right? Is to curtail ourselves, to pull in. That's the normal thing. We're doing the opposite of normal. So as I move, I'm actually opening up even more, opening the joints even more, or rolling the elbow even more. You'll probably find that counters the normal tendency to, when I step, I kind of leave this where it is, and I just get tightened and shortened. As we did in our warm-ups, we start open and long and lengthened, and it only continues to get more lengthened, more opened, and more expansive. Especially in movement, we'll tend to lose all that and do the opposite. So as you release that front foot, just try a couple more, that your shoulder only opens up more. Your elbow only rolls away from your body even more. So that's nice and open and expansive. That's good. As you advance with that slide step, your elbows go only more in front of your body. Your shoulder joint only opens more. You only become more expansive. And then, when you're ready, do that full tenkan. Excellent. Now, so if you just watch for a moment, perhaps you're getting the sense that as you stepped offline, you're just opening the shoulders more and more, as we just discussed. Same process continues when I do an even bigger movement. So when I do this, it's probably going to be a real tendency to pull in because it's a bigger movement. You do the opposite. So I stepped offline, slid offline, and opened my body. As I do my full tenkan, it opens my shoulders and elbows even more. So try a few on your own where you slide off, open the shoulders, you do a full turn, translate that into an opening of your shoulder joints and or a rolling of your elbows forward. So your turning is what's driving the opening. Just like we did with that footwork, sliding that foot back is moving the arms. Sliding the foot back is moving the arms. So when I do my full turn and that foot slides back, that's just doing like a Minucci. So every movement triggers a further expansion and opening. So when you slide off, open the shoulder joints, roll the elbow, and do the full turn, it only adds to it. And notice if you're leaning a little bit, that might happen because of your strong intention forward. That might pull your body forward. So just hang straight down, tailbone into the ground, weight through the feet. And that dropping, that lengthening down, sends the elbows even more forward. Very expansive, very open. At the end here, check the back of your neck. Check your lower back. It's very nice and expansive.
Mhm.
Let me know if you have any questions. Or frustrations. You can let me know about those too.
So with this focus on the shoulder opening, where would you say in the final place, like the degree of weight, are you basically equal? You're trying to still be more in your front leg? Because I think with the expansion, there's also, it's pushing me back,
I
not
see.
just forward.
I see. Yeah, we still want a little bit more weight on the forward leg. We don't have to have that, but that's what we're choosing to have. And one of the reasons why we're choosing to have that is when our partner is still holding on, by having the weight slightly forward, we're still leading them forward. We're leading them off their base. If I'm equal weighted, they may be equal weighted too.
Mm.
But depending on the situation we're choosing, you can choose what you want. And for this, we're choosing, here I'm into the front leg, it stays into that front leg. But you don't want to make sure that you're so much in the front leg that you're leaning forward. Yeah. Now that brings up an interesting point as well. Let's go back to Minucci just for a moment. And as we shift the weight forward, this happens with Funakoki Endo as well. Any movement forward, we might tend to lean forward, right? And especially something like whenever we have the arms way out in front,
Right.
we'll tend to break the line of the body here and lean forward. So what's very, very helpful is don't think of shifting your upper body forward. Don't think of it so much as shifting the weight forward. You're shifting the weight down your front leg, down your front hip, and down your front leg. So whenever you shift the weight forward, if you focus that movement as from the back leg down the front hip and front leg. So it's going down that leg down vertical into the ground rather than bringing you forward. So don't think of a weight shift forward as forward. Think of draining the weight, directing the weight down the front hip. And try some Minucci with that idea. Then I find that keeps me more upright and the balance less overcommitted, the weight less overcommitted. So focus and channel the weight down the front hip and front leg and front foot, not forward. You're just draining it down that front hip and leg. You may find that keeps you from overcommitting and keeps that upper body more integrated. Now try that with a couple more Taino Henko. So in position, you're sinking down the front hip. So think of it less as a forward stance and simply choosing to have the weight drop down the front hip. Down the front hip. And then once you get that sense of dropping down the front hip, have that dropping down the front hip, roll your elbows forward. So you have lots of expansive energy, but no overcommitment forward. So that grounds the weight more, it roots and grounds you more. There's always a tendency, a problem of people leaning a little bit and overcommitting when they shift the weight. So this really counters that. Grounds you out, roots you by simply shifting the weight to the front hip and leg. Okay, now we'll go from Taino Henko to Taino Henko. So feel free, you can follow along or watch me do the first few. I'll do the first one as a normal Taino Henko. And then I'm going to, instead of standing up, walking around, and setting up on the other side, I want to be fluid and flowing and do it continuous. So that means I have to step with my back leg. So I step with my back leg, and of course that presents that back arm, it becomes a front arm, and then I do a tenkan. So now I'm not going to focus, I'm not going to come offline. The other version of Taiho Henko is you don't get offline and go around them. You use your structure to send them around you. Now let's actually break this down because that's kind of maybe a bit of a finesse of a point. So if we start here, we're not going to slide our front foot or left foot offline. Getting offline, that's one tactic, but sometimes you can't do that. So you use your structure and move them around you. So instead of sliding your foot offline, I'm simply going to sink into the front hip, turn the hips, and keep my elbows out. So I'm using my structure to send them around me. So it requires good structure. And then I do my tenkan. Let's just try that separately on each side. So I'm not sliding the foot offline. I'm still sinking into the front hip and turning. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not sliding offline. So it requires even more expansiveness and sharper points, sharper structural points, knees and elbows, to move them around you. Okay, now I'm going to start doing that continuously, and then you can join in whenever you want as best you can. So maybe I'll start right from here. I won't step, I'll just turn. Now my right leg is back. I advance with my right leg, my right arm's in front, tenkan. I advance with my left leg, left arm comes in front, tenkan. Advance with the back leg, tenkan. Keeping the elbows in front, keeping the weight in the front hip and not leaning forward. So the weight stays draining through that front hip, sinking down through the front hip, so I don't lean forward. Any questions? Okay. So that's just touching upon the other principle, Marubashi bridge. Marubashi is sometimes you can't give way. And so you have to be able to move them around you, and that requires really strong, clear structure. Grounded, extended, you have your points, your knees, your tailbone, your elbow points. And if you're met with unstoppable force, it just moves everything back. Your whole structure moves back. Your whole structure moves back. So you maintain your structure and you move them around you. So that's a different approach, much more yang. A normal, a little more common approach is getting offline, which is more yin. But you need to be able to do both, getting out of the way and still being able to deal with it if you can't get out of the way. Good structure, good shape. Okay, so let's finish with some misogi. So feet a little bit, approximately shoulder width apart, maybe slightly more. Hang out, center your breath and your awareness. Each out breath is a releasing breath. Breathing in, expanding outwardly from the hara, core. Breathing out, returning back to the core. More and more have a sense that your arms are not doing the action. Arms are being driven by the breath and the intention. The arms are just passive passengers, and they're being swept along by the movement of the energy field. Arms are simply being swept along. like they're caught in a weather system, and the wind is moving the arms. The movement of the wind is the movement of the ki. Okay, coming back to center. So we'll do a little bit of Misogi that I saw Mary Heine Sensei do just on the weekend. Now this is um, my rendition of it, so I'm doing my version of it, but it's based on what I saw Mary Heine Sensei do just recently. So we sink down a little bit, reach down, bring your fingertips together, rotate your elbows forward, fingertips up. This is breathing in, breathing out. To here, this is one cycle. I'll go into more detail as we go along. You open the hands from each other a little bit. It's as if you're reaching down to the earth to connect to the earth below the surface of the earth, and you're drawing in the energy of the earth and directing the energy of the earth up to the sky. Drawing the energy of the earth, leading it up into the sky. And now we're connecting to the sky with our fingertips and drawing the energy of the sky down through our body, here to our hara. And then from our hara, through the legs, through the feet, back into the earth. It's the direction of my fingers. And then I sink down and release the hands to scoop up some more earth energy, draw the energy, electromagnetically draw the earth energy up, directing it up to the sky, and then connect to the sky, impinging the sky with your fingertips. And it's like the sky is sticky, like you touch syrup or something, and it's sticky, it follows you. You draw down your center line into your hara, and then here from your hara through your legs, through the feet into the ground. Now, if you can time that with your breathing. So as we scoop, as we gather, here we're breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. As we breathe out, we're drawing the sky energy down through the body, breathing out, drawing the sky energy down into the hara, breathing out, down through the legs and feet. So it might take a while to get the timing. So you go at your own timing. So opening the hands here is breathing in and continuing to pull the earth energy in and up. Piercing the sky, breathing out, we're pulling the sky energy down into the hara and then through the legs. We hold the breath momentarily as we sink down. So the breathing in is as we bring the fingertips together, and breathing in is like a suction. Breathing in is like a suction, drawing, pulling the earth energy up. Breathing out is pulling the sky energy down through the body, here into the hara, down through the legs and feet. Hold the breath for a moment as you reach down. Breathing in is bringing the fingertips together and pulling up, pulling up, pulling up, pulling up, pulling up, way up into the sky, miles and miles into the sky. Breathing out is drawing the sky energy down through the body, to the hara, from the hara, through the legs and feet into the ground. Hold your breath momentarily. Open the arms, reach down. Breathing in until you're out of in-breath. Breathe out to the hara, and then from the hara through the legs and feet until you're out of out-breath. Hold your breath as you open the arms and bend down. Then breathe in as you're scooping. As you're scooping and drawing and pulling earth energy. When you breathe in as much as you can, breathe out, piercing the sky. And it's a bit sticky, like touching water or syrup. It sticks to you. Through the legs and feet. When you're out of out-breath, hold your breath. Open the hands, sink down, and breathe in some more earth ki. Draw down the sky ki. One more. And you finish it by breathing out into the ground, into the earth. Bring the hands to the hara. Let the energy grow from your legs into the earth. Breathe in, open and expand from the hara. Breathe out, back over the hara. Breathe in, expand. Breathe out, back to the hara. Now, breathe in, palms up. Breathe out, palms down. Arms get longer and longer each time. Arms go out to the sides, not so much going up. Arms elongate, open up to the sides. Think of that rather than going up and down. Opening up the shoulder joints, opening up the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Now, coming all the way up, pressing down the front. Have a sense of gathering energy, just like before, gathering the chi up, directing it down the front of your body into the ground through your legs. Breathing in, gathering, breathing out, directing. Okay, now opening laterally, closing over your center. Breathing in, scooping up, breathing out, pressing down. Okay, 2 more times. Breathing in laterally, breathing out, consolidating back to the hara. Breathing in, scooping, rising. Breathing out, directing it down your center line through your legs and feet. Breathing in, expanding laterally. Breathing out, over the hara. Breathing in, scooping up. Breathing out, directing down the front of your body through your legs and feet. And hands resting over the hara. Be conscious of your weight exiting through your legs and feet, releasing the abdomen, settling your breath below the navel, opening up back of the neck, lower back. Crown floats directly up as the tailbone hangs heavy. Shoulders sit in the middle. Again, belly released. Long breath in through the nose. Long breath out through the mouth. Release your hands, let them swing ever so naturally and slightly. Breathe naturally into the abdomen as you are with the process of your arms swinging smaller and smaller and smaller. Check the alignment of your spine. Weight through the feet, belly released. Feel the weight of your arms hanging vertically. Right through the center axis of your middle fingers, right towards the ground. From the center point of your shoulders, right down through the central axis of your middle fingers, right into the earth. Breathe, gently rock out. Okay, let's bow out. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much, everyone.